The Fall. An original short story by me, Jared I. McGee. Lunita was a relatively small, three-toed sloth, even as the younglings go. She was capable of crawling through the boughs of the trees in the dense forests of Costa Rica already. She was still quite tentative about her explorations, though. More often than not, she did not travel too terribly far. She might not be reliant on Masha, her mother, anymore, but Lunita was still comforted by the familiar scents of her kin and the specific trees with whom she had lived her entire short life. The hurricane was causing problems with this approach to life these past 2 days. Hurricane Olivia was slamming her forest home with such savagery that trees would fall throughout the day, throughout the night, almost unceasingly. Those arboreal sentinels that did not fall bent and twisted in the torrential rains and the bellowing winds. Whenever there was a break in the onslaught, all the sloths would try to climb deeper into the forest in hopes of escaping the worst of Olivia. Of course, Lunita, her relations, and all of their ilk were not Quicksilver. Their fugue to the heart of the forest was slow going, and every day, one or two more of the faces she had grown up with just disappeared from the ongoing exodus. On day 3 of their frenetic journey, the winds picked up again, bending and breaking even the greatest of trees. All the sloths making their way further inland clung to the limbs with all their might, thinking thoughts of survival. Food and mating and family and everything else that had seemed so important and like the only drivers of the gentle beasts were unneeded. Not even a buzz in the back of the more primitive parts of their brains. As Lunita clung to her own branch, she began to realize that it was not the best choice. Mother had taught her to find a branch that did not bend beyond a certain angle, and this branch was almost doubled in half. Dread turned into full-on realization as Lunita heard the creaks turn to cracks, and she felt herself falling. Falling. Her back was to the ground as she began to fall, but she wiggled her legs and arms, creating enough momentum for her to fall belly down so that she could at least see the ground coming. The fall would hurt her. It would hurt her badly. But the water and the wind and the predators braving the storm, they would ensure Lunita would not make it back up to the safety of the leaves and the boughs. Surely, she would die by them, not this fall. Still, with or without those abnormal factors, all young sloths were taught from the time they could understand anything beyond the need to eat that a sloth that falls is a sloth that dies. No matter the circumstances, when sloths fall, they rarely survive. That was just a fact of life, storm or no storm. Lunita closed her eyes as the ground neared, whimpering a little in anticipation of the pain. She had so hoped to see and do so many more things in her life. Masha had told her of great gatherings of butterflies that would bring the trees and the skies alive as the sun rose in the mornings during certain seasons, of some sections of the forest that were so crowded with fruit-bearing branches that the sloths had trouble navigating around the seemingly endless food. She wept. The impact took her breath away, and when she tried to breathe, Lunita's lungs burst full of burning. Quickly, she realized that she was drowning. Sloths may be unwieldy on the ground, but in the water, their spindly limbs proved to be rather effective. She followed her bubbles up, just like Mother taught her, and she breached the surface. She was in a small stream that made its way to be part of a much larger river a few miles inland. Lunita squealed with glee as she reveled in being alive. The rains and the winds bit at her. The thunder crashing terrified her. It shook her to her core. She was still in danger. There were so many hungry mouths just looking for this type of opportunity. Such great danger. She began to squirm and swim her way toward the shore, trying her best to recover from the fall. Thank you for listening to The Fall, an original short story by Jared I. McGee. The backing track for this story was taken from the Free Music Archive at freemusicarchive.org. If you've listened to prose, you'll know that Free Music Archive has proved to be invaluable to this storytelling endeavor. Please head over and check out freemusicarchive.org and consider donating today. The title of the track being used is Treated Acoustic Guitar by Rest You Sleeping Giant. The track is being used under an Attribution 4.0 international license. A sincere thank you to Rest You Sleeping Giant for sharing their work, and to Free Music Archive for the contribution. If you've enjoyed this story, please let me know by giving prose a rating on iTunes or Google Play. Now, on to the next tale.